Hello, hello. Hope everybody is doing well. So we have rocketed to the end of week 3, and now we are easing in to week 4. So I've almost finished up your stage 1 of the ad evaluation project. So I've been giving feedback on descriptions all day, and I'm almost done. I have just a couple left. Before I get into talking about what we need to do to revise those and to move on to our analysis, a few people never submitted the ad for approval, which means they weren't able to do stage 1. So if you didn't submit your ad and you didn't do stage 1, you're getting very behind. We're going to be moving on to the analysis stage 2 this week. So that's the project for week 4. And then in week 5, we're going to wrap everything up. So if you are behind, you need to catch up right now. We're at a point where you may start to slip behind and find yourself basically a month behind in the course pretty quickly. So if you haven't done those things and you need some help, please get in touch. Remember that I have office hours Monday, noon to 1, and from 5 o'clock until right before my 6 o'clock night class. I'm also glad to meet with you by appointment. So I just wanted to remind you all of that. All right, so with these stage 1 assignments, make sure that you go to the assignment and you look at the feedback. Everybody got feedback. Everybody got comments. A few people did not upload a file, and so I asked you to take care of that. If you need me to reset the assignment for you so that you can get that file uploaded, just drop me an email and I'll take care of it. So before you jump into my feedback, I want you to look at the work that you submitted. One of the things that happens after we submit work for something like this, with a couple of days away from it, we come back to it and we go, oh, I could have done this differently. Ooh, what's going on with that sentence? Ew, did I misspell that? Having a little bit of separation between you and the text for a couple of days tends to make it a little easier to see those things. So before you even get to my feedback, I really recommend you just, even if you just open up the file before you even go into Blackboard and look at it, take a look at it and see if there are some things that you think you might want to fix. And so then go look at my feedback. I put comments directly on the documents in Blackboard and gave you a grading comment. So you should see comments on the paper itself and then comments over in the grading section. So make sure you look at both. Some of you don't have a whole lot of comments. Some of you do have a lot of comments. It's different for everyone. So definitely make sure that you look at everything. If there's something you don't understand, if there is something you want to talk about, please let me know. Again, drop into office hours, come talk to me. We can go over the essay together. I'm available online, so please, if you need me, do get in touch. So some of the things that I noticed, a few people talked about the product instead of the ad. Remember, you definitely want to talk about how the product appears in the ad, but the point of this is to describe the ad. So if you only describe the product, then that's not really what the assignment asked you to do. So make sure you're describing the ad. Some people just didn't provide enough detail. So if that's something that I mentioned, make sure you go back and really describe the ad, really describe the things in it. And in some cases, it was just something particular in the ad that you glossed over that I felt like you needed to go back to and describe more in detail. In some cases, folks needed to work on clear and precise wording and concrete wording versus abstract wording. I talked I think in the last video about making sure we say precisely what we mean and using very clear examples and very clear description. So to give you an example, if you say that something is pretty, that is subjective, right? That doesn't really tell the reader what it looks like. But if you describe the colors, if you describe the shape, if you describe the contrast from the background, etc., that will give the reader an idea. If you tell us that the ad features an attractive model, again, subjective. When you say attractive, what does that mean? Are you talking about somebody who conforms to standards of beauty? Are you talking about somebody who has a big smile and looks friendly? Describe the expression, describe the pose, describe the clothes. If there's a dog in the ad, what does that dog look like? Don't just tell us there's a dog there. Tell us what that dog looks like. Is it a Great Dane? Is it a terrier? We don't know. Tell us. And then concrete versus abstract. So going back to that idea, of pretty, of happy, of this, of that, you've got to tell us what it is that you're seeing that shows that. Okay. And that will serve you well when you move into the analysis, which is the next thing we're going to do. So the assignment has some questions to help you get started and some things that I want you to focus on. First of all, think about who the audience for this ad is. Who did the marketer intend for this ad to reach? And I want you to determine that looking at the ad, okay? And you may know who this product is typically marketed to. For now, I want you to focus on who this ad is targeting, okay? So who is it, and be specific. Don't just say it's, women or men or whatever. Make sure that you're really targeting a group of people. And make sure you are targeting that group based on what you see in the ad. I'll sometimes get these analyses that will say things like, sorry, all of my devices are buzzing now that I'm talking to you all. I'll get one that will say something like, it's this ad targets women because it's for makeup. You can do better than that. Who are they specifically targeting, and how is that evident in the ad? So then, you want to talk about the things you see in the ad that tell you this. Also, think about the purpose. What is this marketer trying to do? And I know, ads are designed to separate you from your hard-earned money, but think a little bit more deeply than that. What is it that the marketer is trying to do? What kind of a feeling are they trying to create? Are they trying to make you envious of somebody, or to aspire to be like somebody? Or are they trying to make you think that this product will make your life better or happier or whatever? I often give the example of cleaning commercials. I don't see them as much as I used to, but back in the day when I would be home during the day with my daughter, I noticed that daytime television, they had tons of commercials for cleaning products, I guess because it was geared toward people who were home with their kids. And you would see something like this mother who had just cleaned her kitchen and everything looked so nice. And then all of her kids come running in and spill stuff and get mud on the floor and trash the kitchen. And then instead of getting mad, she gets her bounty paper towels and cleans up the mess. Or she gets her little Swiffer and takes care of it. We all know that in the real world, that's not how that goes, right? Like if you've just cleaned and somebody comes in and trashes it, you're like going to pick up the mop and run after them with it, most likely. But the point is that, these products will make it look like, oh, if I had this would not be such a hassle and it would be easy and I could be calming together. Sometimes, stuff like fitness, I use fitness loosely, products, they show you these people that you maybe aspire that you could be like. And I use you loosely as well. I don't mean you specifically. I mean the viewer. See, I'm not doing what I told you to do. I'm not saying precisely what I mean. I need to work on that. So think about what it is that the advertiser is trying to accomplish with this ad beyond just making money, and talk about how they're doing that. So again, provide specific examples. What is it that you see in that description that tells you this? Now, if you're feeling kind of lost, go back and look at your description. What are the things that really stand out in your description? And then think about what those things are doing, why they're there, why those advertisers chose that. If you think back to why advertising works even when you think it doesn't, the article from The Atlantic, advertisers are not just, doing this stuff by accident. They are being very careful about it and very intentional about it. Okay, so next up, analysis. A note on that, if you have a grade right now that is not, a 0 or a really low grade on your description, you should be able to submit your analysis. If you did not do the description, or if there were really significant problems with it, you may not have the link for the analysis yet. So make sure that if it's missing in week 4, that you do what you need to do so that we can rectify that situation. So for the analysis, of course, you'll draft it. And remember, just like you did with the description, you're creating a paragraph. So revise whatever needs to be revised in your description. For some of you, that's more than others. For some of you, it's a few little things. For some of you, you've got some significant work to do. and then add that analysis paragraph right there in the same document. Essentially what we're doing is drafting the body of our essay, and then next week we will create an introduction, a thesis, a conclusion. We'll do the stuff on the outside. But the important part is that body content. That is the meat of the essay. That is the most important stuff. And so we're going to do that first, and then we'll circle back and we'll put the bread on the sandwich, for lack of a better term. Also, y'all were killing me with all of your food ads you've been talking about on the discussion board this week. I kept grading those right before lunch, and it was painful. I've got to do some more. I've got some of those left. I think I'm going to try to do it right after I eat breakfast next time, so that I'm not thinking about stuff like Cheesecake Factory all day. What was that about, y'all? Okay, one more thing that I wanted to mention. So I had quite a few requests for things to go over in the checkpoints this week, which is awesome. I'm so glad. However, as you well know, if I go over all of that in this video, it's going to be like 2 hours long and none of you are going to watch it. So I'm going to do a couple of extra videos. I'm going to do a video talking about sentence structure, and I'm going to do a video talking about commas. And I'm going to try to crank those out and have them posted Monday, Tuesday at the latest. But I do have those marked down. I'm just not going to get them done today, and I'm sorry. So if there are specific topics in those areas you want to make sure that I cover, I can tell you that with sentence structure, I'm covering fragments. I'm covering run-on sentences and comma splices. So if there's something specific you want me to talk about that doesn't feel covered in those categories, please let me know. Commas, I'm going to run through the big comma rules and do's and don'ts, and it'll be brief. It's not going to be something that's terribly painful, but just wanted to do this to supplement the instruction you get in Little Seagull and in Inquisitive. If there are other topics you want me to talk about, please let me know. I'm happy to do it. And the other thing I've been seeing a few little issues in document formatting or questions about how to do some things in Word. So before I disband with you in this moment, I'm going to share Word on the screen and talk to you about how we can adjust some of those issues. So I'm going to do that. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is quickly work through, quickly work through your document setup. There is that document in Blackboard that shows you how to set up your documents for MLA format in Word, and it walks you through the steps, has all the steps listed, and you can also use that as a template. But if you don't want to do that, I'll walk you through it here right quick. So I like to go up to the header. I hit tab twice, and in the header, hitting tab twice will put you on the right side. And you're gonna type your, I'm gonna have to put my glasses back on for this. You will have to type your last name and a space, and then you'll come over to page number, current position, because you've got your cursor one space after your name, and plain number. So if you're ending up in a situation where your page number is under your name or it's on the other side of the page, this is a helpful fix for that. And if you highlight it and right click on it, you can go ahead and change your font and font size. And you can either hit close header and footer, or you can just double click in the body of the document to get out. All right, so then you need to set up the body of the document, because the header and the document body are separate pieces in Word. I click no spacing before I get started. That helps you avoid the extra space that gets kicked in when you hit enter. Times New Roman, size 12, and spacing. If you hit Control-2, that will double space your document. You can also come over here to the line and paragraph spacing button and click 2.0. All right, so then your name, my name, our class, whatever section, and LL1, LL2, whatever. As long as it's not a big deal this semester, because I've only got the 2 sections of English 111. Sometimes I teach 4, and that's when things can get difficult. In MLA format, you put the day, then the, well, let me try that again, then the month. I'm a great typist until I'm doing it in front of people. All right, so the next line is where your title goes. You want to center your title. You can hit Control and E at the same time to do that, or you can come up here and click Center. These shortcuts I'm giving you, you'll see that they show up in parentheses whenever you hover over those buttons. So then you hit Enter, and then you want to left align your document body. So you either hit Control L or click on the left align button. Hit Tab and start typing. So at the end of a paragraph, hit Enter. It'll take you to the next line. Sometimes Word will auto indent for you. Sometimes you'll need to do it, but you can work that out. So that takes care of the document formatting. I did want to mention too, up here in the header, you always want to use, let's say up here in the header, my cursor's on the wrong screen. If you are putting in your page number, you want to click Insert Page Number. If you type the number 1, it's going to number all of your pages 1. So make sure that you do that correctly. So then the next question is, well, what if I've already typed my document, but it just isn't looking right? And so I can help you with that too. Let me slide these windows around real quick. Even with 2 monitors, I still feel so fumbly doing this stuff with all my stuff already ready to go. Oh well, here, I'll put y'all on screen. Doop. Cool. All right, so a couple things I want to mention. So first of all, spacing. If I tell you you've got extra space or that you need to adjust your spacing between line or paragraph breaks, if you look up here, you see how there's a lot more space between these lines than between these lines right here. The reason for that, up here, if you started off in normal, if you didn't move it over to no spacing like I had told you before, it will kick in that extra space every time you hit Enter. Word is set up to automatically put some extra space between paragraphs. So if you double space and then you're hitting Enter, it's going to kick in extra space. You can fix this really easily though. The way that I like to fix it is to come over here to Select and do Select All. You could also do Control, is it Control S? I can't remember. Okay, I forgot the shortcut, my bad. So Select All, go back to that line and paragraph spacing button, but you're gonna go into line spacing options. And what you want to do is to make sure that both of these numbers here, the before and the after, are both set to 0, not auto, 0, and your line spacing is set to double. And when you do that, it'll fix that up, it'll tighten it right up. So if you have done what I've done here and you've tabbed over your title, you'll notice that it's not center. And then I can go in and do Control E, and sometimes that will work. But if you have tabbed your title over, like, oops, you may need to go in and take those tabs out. Okay, so you see what I just did is I turned on the View Characters feature. This shows you every single bit of punctuation in a document. So if you have hit space, you'll see these little dots. If you've hit Enter, you'll see the little paragraph symbol. If you've hit Tab, you'll see the little arrows. That's helpful when you're trying to fix your formatting and you can't figure out what's going on. You are looking at blank space, but the word processor knows there's stuff there. I think of it, if any of you are musicians, I think of it like a rest in music. You know, you have, when you're reading your music, there's that rest printed there. So the audience experiences it, but they don't see anything there. But you as the musician who's making the magic happen, you see it there. Words kind of the same way. Words make the magic happen, but they have to see all of those characters. If you print with these characters on, the characters do not print, and all you have to do to get rid of them is to bring them back just like you had them, which is that paragraph button up there. Nice little feature. So I hope that little bit of troubleshooting helps. If not, if you need help, if you have questions, if there's something that I did not cover, definitely let me know. Please get in touch so that I can help you and get everybody up to speed and where they need to be. So as always, if you need me, please get in touch, and I hope y'all have a great weekend, unless you're watching this on Monday morning, in which that probably just made you sad. In that case, I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing the work coming in from you this week. Be on the lookout for comments and sentence structure videos coming early next week, unless you're watching this early next week, in which case maybe you can just go back to the course site and see them there. So thanks for your attention, your work, and your patience. And I hope to see you all in the virtual office soon.